Hello and welcome to another Wardy's Waffle Farm update. Hope everybody's all right and getting on well and safe, and harvest is going well for those farmers who've started. We haven't got started here on our own farm here. The oats here behind me are going to be the first to get going early this next week. So what have we got in this update? We've been started taking oilseed rape in for ADM, and so we have a bit of a snapshot and look at that. Some of it's been coming in at extremely high temperatures, so which means we have to cool it down. So I'll run through how we do that as well. And it's been a busy week for the media. I've had Radio 4, I've had GB News, Channel 5 come here to the farm to do some interviews on farming, so it's great to be able to highlight food production in the UK and be asked to contribute to these hugely important topics and look at the problems we have, but also the sort of promote the good side of it, because we have many good sides and good things going on as well. So thank you if you've asked me to take part in those, and I've got one or two little snippets of those features when they went out on television after they're edited. Also, I went over to Birchwood Junior School in Lincoln to meet the year 5 and 6 again. They're breaking up for school holidays. They broke up yesterday. Today's Saturday. They broke up yesterday, and some of them are in tears, and always sad to see that. But obviously they're leaving school, the year 6s. But great to catch up with them, and gave them some goodies that Rhonda had managed to get me from the NFU, and I got some seeds for them to plant in the gardens at home and things like that. So great to keep in touch, and obviously I'm going to be working with that school going forward this next year. They want to establish a wildflower area and a wildlife area, so we're going to be doing that, and I've got King's Crops are going to be helping me with that as well. So a lot of interesting things happening there in the next year, which obviously on here you'll be able to see. So that was another thing, and also we have a quick run around the crops and give you an update on the wheat and the barley and the beans and everywhere where we're going, and just see how far off they are off harvest. So that's it. Without any more from me, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy this update, and here we go. This is the first lorry of oilseed rape that's come in for ADM this year, and this is from a local farm. We're going to be storing around about 2,800 to 3,000 tonnes this year, but of course with the temperatures at the minute, this is today's Monday, July the 18th is it, the date, but this is the day when we're meant to be getting 40 degrees. But luckily at the minute this was harvested before the weekend, because we have to cool it and look after it, and we're just looking at weighbridge, but luckily this temperature I think was just under 25 of this crop. So we have to sample every load, and we do it through here from the sampler outside, you can just see, and we've already done that. Tom's done that, and this is the moisture of this last load. If it's below 6%, then they don't get any more bonuses, because with oilseed rape you get moisture bonuses anywhere down to 6%. But temperature here, you can see the temperature there is 24.37. If it's over 25, there'll be a claim on that, because it costs us an awful lot more money to actually cool that crop. We have to cool it right down to 5 degrees to keep it through the winter, but obviously cooling it down to that temperature, we only do it in the autumn and the winter when the nights are cooler. While Rhonda and I are on holiday, Tom and Ruben and Ian, they actually got this floor sorted, and I haven't any videos of it, but you can see they've got all the grills cleaned. You can just see what it was like before they did it and how they did it. Suggestion from the floor manufacturers, Wellvent, we got a whacker plate from, we hired one for a few days, and we went over it all with a whacker plate and banged it and vibrated it, and that's actually cleaned out the grills, and just had the sections open in the tunnel one at a time, just to put the air down here and concentrate the air between that, and that is just one section. So here we are, this is the first load. Aldo, beauty of having a high shed. We're 32 feet high from there to the gutter. Look, you can tip an Arctic up in here, no problem at all. The only thing we have to watch is that corner there. That's where the fans are up there. But that's 29 tonnes or just a bit over in there. We've just had 5 attempts at digging a root out the ground, so we're going to try this one and see here how small it is as well. Normally this would be so much bigger this time of year. And dry soil, really dry, no moisture in the roots whatsoever. And these little leaves just really dying off. And the plant's putting all its energy into these bigger leaves. We've had 10 loads in today. Admixture's probably running about 1%, which isn't bad at all really. Might look worse here, but there we are. And when that's crushed, that will make lovely oil. We're just cleaning the floor, sweeping it to try and stop the grills blocking like they did do this last year. See here, we've run on this. Every time we run on it, it just keeps pushing it in. So we're going to try and keep the floor swept a bit cleaner in between loads, in between filling it, like that. And the wheels don't push so much in. There we're out the weighbridge. No lorries here at the moment. The last one's just gone. We sample them and it comes into here. And the last one, this is the reading, 6.54 moisture. The bottom limit we're allowed to take in is 6%, or that they'll get paid on moisture bonuses. But look at that temperature, 33.91 degrees. That will take some cooling. We have to cool that down. We're looking after it. We have to cool it down to probably around 5 degrees if we can. But of course we can only do that through the winter when the nights are cooler and using ambient air. Update on Nala. You can see she's lightening up further, all on the side of her neck there. Lovely brown beige colour. Lots of silver coming out on her back now, and underneath here as well. But look, lovely dog, aren't you, Nala? Good girl. She is a lovely natured dog. Loves playing with balls. I'm just at a British Sugar meeting at the minute at Newark, and we've got about 20 odd growers here, and they started a field to factory campaign, and we're just looking at trying to make things a lot better between British Sugar and the haulier and the harvester and the growers. So we're just having a meeting, and they did a lot of surveys early on in the winter, so we're just having a catch up on that and seeing what came out. You can see by this charts on the wall here all the various surveys that were carried out and various growers what they thought, but we're not going to give anything out yet. It's still in the early stages yet, and there's nothing been decided, so this is just a snapshot of all the surveys and all the thoughts of individual growers, hauliers and harvester contractors. We've got lots more lorries coming in now continually. Tuesday now. Yeah, filling up slowly in here now. Now the shed's getting a bit fuller. Shows the beauty of these high doors. Still room to go up higher yet, another 2 or 3 feet with a metre. I need to blow off around the back. Lots of ledges where it sits. There. There. All in the wheels as well, and the axles. We thought the Bowser was all repaired, but then yesterday in the heat there was an almighty bang, and diesel started to come out of the pump. There wasn't a lot in the Bowser, but we just put it all in to test it, and of course with all these new rubber seals it was airtight, and it's gone and cracked this plastic casing of this pump. So got to try and find one of those now and start again. Shame, because it was all good, and they've done a good job getting it repaired and getting it all going, new seals in and everything. I don't think we're going to get as many tons in this shed as we normally do, and that's because the moisture, because the rape is drier. If you think about it, when it's say if it's only 6% moisture or less compared to 10%, I know 29 tonnes is 29 tonnes, but 29 tonnes at 6% will take up a bigger surface area than 29 tonnes at 10%. So the actual tonnage of rape we're going to get in here will be less. Normally we're about in this one about 1,350, something in that area, and we've got one over the top of that, over the other side there, another one that will make 2,800 in total, but we won't be there this year, so it'll be interesting to see how much less we are. So just looking at what tonnage we've got in at the minute, we have to log everything on a spreadsheet. You might not be able to see for the light, but up to now in that store with 641 tonnes. These are all the various loads, temperatures of each one. You can see there's the temperature column, look. 24, 25, 31, 34, 30, 32, 33.9. Big temperatures that we have to cool down. Yeah. I've got Will here from GB News. We've just done a small slot that went out live with Eamon Holmes at 8:10. We've done a few of the bits around here, around the farm. You're going to use those during the day or other times when you need them?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got morning programmes coming up on GB News. We've got To The Point. You'll probably see us on To The Point. We might get you back in front of the camera
for
good. More live stuff. And then throughout the afternoon, I'm sure On The Money with Liam Halligan at around 1 o'clock will want us as well, talking about the cost of farming as well as the heatwave.
Which we've mentioned that about the cost of production. Yourself, Will, you live in Nottingham, you're in this area a lot, and I was only saying to you it's great that GB News support farming because we need more representation. What you do is fantastic, and I think it's great for you to come out here and just see what we're doing.
Yeah, of course. We've got lots of viewers in Lincolnshire as well, so it's nice to come out and speak to people who like GB News as well.
Yeah, well, it's great what you do.
I suppose during this really hot spell that we've been experiencing, nobody feels the pressure more in these sorts of conditions than farmers.
Well, they've got to cultivate the land, they've got to produce crops, they've got to make money, they've got to care for animals as well. We go now to our East Midlands reporter, that's Will Hollis. Will's in Lincolnshire on a farm there with a farmer. Will, tell us the story.
Yeah, good morning from Leadenham here in Lincolnshire. Lincolnshire, it's been in the headlines recently because it's now the hottest place. In Britain, we saw that record-breaking temperature in Coningsby, 40.2, as you said, Eamon. It's been really hot for everybody, but it's been especially difficult for farmers, especially for people like Andrew Ward. Andrew, you farmed in Lincolnshire for the whole of your life. Yeah. How has this period been during the heatwave?
There's no doubt it has been the most intense period we ever had. I do remember the droughts in 1976, but they were far longer than this one, but the heat wasn't as extreme. But the last couple of days we've had sort of 40 degrees for 2 days. But really our problems here in Lincolnshire started a long way before that. We've had a very dry spring, and so the ground is exceptionally dry underneath, so the crop's been able to pull moisture out the ground. That hasn't been happening for a long while, so this sort of weather period that we're in at the minute isn't really new to us.
For where we are, for people listening on radio, we've got cracked ground around us. We've got wheat that is not quite ready yet, but it's nice and yellow and golden. We've heard of people that are having to harvest early because of this heated period and because of maybe the effects of climate change. How is that affecting farming for you?
It really is affecting us properly here because the crop wheat behind us now, it's a sort of yellowy golden colour. Normally this time of year that will still have a tinge of green to it, and that is ready for harvest in the next week or so. So here we're about 3 weeks ahead of normal, and this is the thing that we have to cope with now. We have very different and fluctuating weather conditions that mean we have to try and adapt all the time, and this is what we do.
And it's a really worrying time for farmers just like you?
It is really, because the problem we've got is obviously our profit relies on how many tonnes we get out that field and put in the shed, and until we actually get the combine in the field here, we don't really know how much damage the weather has done. And of course, not far away as well, we've got a lot of vegetable areas in Lincolnshire here. Lincolnshire produces 27% of the nation's vegetables, and we've got situations there, I know, where workers, it's too hot for them to work. We've got machinery is overheating and boiling, we've got fields catching fire, so there are just huge problems at the minute with the weather.
We've seen the fire service looking at a lot of grassland fires, woodland fires, as well as big fires in London. We're going to be taking a little bit of a walk around Andrew's farm to see if there was any damage. We see cracked drought-ridden ground all around us, and we'll hopefully bring you some more information as to what's been happening here in Lincolnshire later, Eamon and Isabel.
We're just greasing the doors. They've been squeaking really badly. You probably heard them when we closed them, so we're just greasing the runners. Tom's just painting some grease in them. It's in there where it gets really dry, so we're just going to lather them. Yeah, that looks a lot better up there. That's better, got lots of grease down there, so it should quieten it down. We'll give it a go in a minute. I've got Brad and Johnny here from Channel 5. We've just done a bit of recording. I'm just trying to get them to see if they can rub an ear of wheat out.
Yeah,
so there you go, Brad. Let's have a go.
Put it in the hand, and then I've just got to basically got it really stings the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel it. I can really feel it.
They're used to a keyboard, I can see that.
And the seeds, I mean, it's all going. Oh, hang on, I've got a bit.
You've got a bit.
There we are, it's not too bad.
He's nicking a couple up his sleeve.
Actually,
Brilliant. Yeah, look at that. That's
my first time doing that.
First time. Look at that.
Did he make a
Fantastic.
farmer?
You might need a bit more tuition, but we'll get
training.
Brad and Johnny are still here from Channel 5. They're just editing the piece that they've recorded today, and it's due to go out between 5 and 6 on Channel 5 News. Had to get the fan on the old laptop. It's starting to overheat. You're getting all right?
Yeah, all
slowly. Or is it on a... Oh, it's frozen.
We're rebooting.
Rebooting. Brad on my left and Johnny from Channel 5. We've just had a great day here doing filming and lots of things for tonight's programme. So have you enjoyed your day in Lincolnshire?
Loved it. You're an absolute superstar. Absolutely superstar. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
No, well,
today.
I think it's great. Thank you for coming over and just highlighting what we're doing and producing food and the issues we have to do it. I think it's great. And anything you've learnt?
I've learned a lot about farming.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready to actually put my boots on and get stuck in just yet, though.
But you know, you've been great, Johnny, as well. So we've got a clip here. We'll just turn the camera around so we can see this.
Field of wheat has dried up from record-breaking heat.
You can see, Bradley, this crack here, how deep this one is. And I'll get my arm, look at that, right down, nearly up to my elbow. Just incredible. And it goes deeper than that.
This seems completely uncontrollable.
It is, and this crop was put in the ground early October. We've had such a dry period, it'll have affected the amount of tonnes of grain we harvest, which then will affect the amount of food on the supermarket shelf. Time to stock up the harvest fridge in the workshop, so I'm in Asda just getting a few supplies. So we've got some Coke Zero for Ruben, some Diet Coke for me, San Pellegrino Orange, these are really nice, these are, and then a bit of Moretti for me for home, and then also got some Corona and some flavoured cider for Tom and Ruben for end of the day. Obviously we don't drink alcohol while we're working, that's what the soft drinks are for. So here we are, I've got the all the drink backed at the farm, and this is the fridge we have to put it in. Had it a few years now. My electrician brought it, gave it to me, I think, when he stripped a pub out a bit ago. So that's got all the drink in the fridge. Got some Coke Zero, Diet Coke, Fanta, some of the Pellegrino, so San Pellegrino Orange and the Blood Orange, and then some flavoured lagers and beers for end of the day. We've got about 1,000 tonnes, just a bit more of oilseed rape in altogether now. Store 5 here is probably 900 tonnes in. It's coming at quite high temperatures, over 30 degrees, 34 degrees actually, some of it. So I'm going to put the fans on now to cool it down, and we'll just see one or two of the settings here. So we've got a probe there, temperature sensor there that's picking up the ambient air from outside, and that's linked into this box here. You can just see there when it focuses, we've got the outside air is 18.5 actual, and the C stands for crop, and that's 32.8. So huge difference there. So they're going to set the fans now to come on here, and they're all linked to a probe in the crop, which we'll have a look at that in a second. I've just come up into the air tunnel, through the air tunnel up into the fans. You can see here we've got the rape, and you can just see that white cross there. That is where the temperature probe is, right down in the heap. It's about 2 meters long, and that's linked through the wire through to the controller down below. Here are the fans. I'll just shut that. So these are the louvers all outside that will pick up the air, pull it in, send it into the tunnel down below. So that's where we've been up there, which is above there, and the air will blow down here and into this fan chamber here, and we've got these slides shut just there, but then we've got these are open because obviously there's a big slope on the rape heap in here, and we have these shut on the where it's very thin, if you like, because the air will always find the easiest route out and it will go out through the face of the heap. We want the air to go all the way down there and be forced under the floor and up through the crop. So that's the idea. So the fans are above us up there, and that's where you can't really see it in the dark, but that's where the air will come down and then fill this tunnel with air and cool the crop. So for cooling, you can see here, fan 1 on auto, which is that one. So we flick that onto auto. Fan 2 off, because when you're cooling, you only need a small amount of air. You don't need the amount of air that you do for drying. WDC, that's the controller on 1, so which we're on. And then put that on, that's the main power. And then the fan comes on there to keep all the electrics cool, because this box gets quite hot. And you can just hear the motor and all the fans up top starting to come on. And we'll have a look in the morning, because I think that will have seriously altered. You can just hear the fans now starting to get, or the fan rather, there's only one on, but it's pulling all the air in from up there. And of course this faces south and west, which is where all our prevailing weather comes from. So the breeze is always out that area, so that'll be sucking in all this lovely cool air into that crop. It's 7:30 Friday morning, and the fans have been running now about 9 hours, I think. So we'll go in and just see what they're like and what the temperature is. Now that's done a good job. So last night it was 32.8, and it's now brought it down to 24. Just with 1 evening's 9 hours or so blowing. Outside air still 17.2. I'll switch it off now though, because it's on the normal rate cost electricity rather than economy 7, so I'll switch it off. And we've got a timer on here actually. I didn't set that last night, so I was keen to use the early evening coolness, but I will set that from now on, so it'll only come on from midnight till 6 AM. But we'll switch it off now. That just shows that there's only one fan on, this one, well this one's off. There, you can hear it now, fan's going off. I've just arrived at Birchwood School to talk to the children, and look at this fantastic artwork on these walls. Just brilliant. I've brought Nala and Frankie to see the children, and look. Who was it she stole a sandwich when you came to the farm? Yours? Yeah. Brilliant.
Frankie. All right, stop getting all the attention. Come on, I want to say hello to Frankie. Yeah, look. I know it's boring. That's be like this. Or just let me. Does Frankie slip about in the car?
Here are some of the fantastic children at Birchwood School from year 5 and 6 who we did the school challenge with. And we've got 1 or 2 are a little bit sad because it's the last days at school here with the friends. But you have just given me something, and we'll have a look. I'll show you that in a minute. And thank you so much for everything you've done. I've really, really enjoyed being with you. And we've just seen Nala and Frankie. And some of you follow on Facebook or on YouTube rather, don't you? So you see the video, so you'll keep in touch with Nala and Frankie and me. And thank you. Look at this. And we're now in this wildflower area at the school, or wildlife area, that we're going to expand this next year or 2. And look at this. There's so much potential here. But these children are very, very special. Okay, children, you've all got your bags. Yes, look at that. Brilliant. Well done. And in each bag, we've got an activity book. You've got your farming fun book, got some seeds to grow, notebook, some more seeds, and I've got you some sunflower and some phacelia seeds here. Are you going to plant those in your garden at home? Yeah, brilliant. And we've got a pen, we've got some pencils, back British farming, of course. And you are all going to have one of my contact cards, so you can get hold of me and come and see harvest and come and have a look on the combine and see the crops growing. All right, been a pleasure knowing you and a pleasure seeing you, but we'll see some of you afterwards. But please, those of you who are leaving school this time, please do keep in touch. Yeah. And we've got Nala here as well, very chilled out, and Frankie. Also now there is a Daisy made ice cream van here for the children, just fantastic, and I'm going to have one as well. We are, look at this, last visit here for the day now, or for the term, and this ice cream, and they've bought all the children ice creams in the school, just absolutely fantastic. And this is what the children have given me as a thank you. It's just lovely, little message from each child. Look at that, just brilliant. That's Frankie. And a potato there, and then a great photo from the show, from the schools challenge, and a box of Maltesers. Look at these lovely messages from all the children. Look at this. Thank you for being the best mentor ever. Thanks for helping us with the potatoes. Thanks for helping us, and thank you for letting us use your farm. Just brilliant. All these lovely messages. Just fantastic. Thank you, they mean so much to me. Thank you, the children from year 5 and 6 from Birchwood Junior School, from Nala and Frankie. Thank you so much for being great children. I've loved every second with you, and so has Nala and Frankie. So those of you who've watched the farm tours will recognise this shed now. This is shed 3. This is the other store that we have rape in for ADM. Just had a lorry in. We've only just started this shed. There's a few loads in here, but what we've actually done this last few days is put the lower temperature stuff in here, because it's only got these pedestals in, which you can see. Here's one before it goes in. We've got hessian around the outside to stop the rape going in, but you can't quite see from here, but there's grooves all in here to let the air flow through, and then there'll be a motor on the very top to suck the air out. But we put the lower temperature stuff in here because it does take more here. There's not so much power and everything with the air, with the fans on the top, and it just takes longer to do it. So we put that in here, and then we've got 6. We put another one where that mark is on the wall, and then another one just here where this mark is, in line with that, and then we've got 2 more. So one where that mark is, but about where I'm stood, in line with that one, and then another one on that side where that mark is, just away from the wall a bit. I'm now just setting the fans on automatic, obviously middle of the day now, Friday lunchtime, and we've got some heat again, so the fans are all off at the minute. This is the temperature sensor, remember, up there. So we'll just look at how we set it on auto. So I use a simple household timer, and this cable is linked into this humidity controller, differential controller. So when the electric comes on, and economy 7 with us is 12:30 p.m. until 7:30 a.m. for cheaper rate electricity. So I've got it all set here on the time, so when 12:30 comes on, this will live up and it will set this box into life, and then it'll start the fans. So we'll just look at that and put that onto manual on that switch there. That now has just started that box. You can see straight away, there we are from this morning, the grains, or the rape's 24%, but the outside air temperature is 28. And of course the fan's not coming on because I've got a differential set of 6 degrees. So what that means is, if I lift that up, what that means is target 6, that's 6 degrees temperature. difference of 6. So obviously you don't want a difference of 2 because the fans will be on all the time and not bringing the crop down. And the greater the difference between the air temperature and the crop temperature, the quicker the crop will cool. But 6 degrees difference is normally enough. So normally get to tonight when I know it's going to be a cool night again, and the fans will come on, and these are going to come on automatically after midnight. But I'll switch that now back off manual and put it onto auto, and you'll see that will go off. There we go. So that's now all set for coming on at 12:30 tonight if there's a difference of 6 degrees between the air temperature and the crop temperature. Quick update on 1 or 2 of our crops. This winter wheat behind me is after spring beans, planted around about early mid-October, 10th, 12th of October last year. Not quite ready, but we'll have a look at it and just rub some ears out. And then we've got a field of spring barley behind me here that's nowhere near ready. And then we've got a field of spring beans just through there that is also nowhere near ready. Just interesting looking at these cracks in the ground. Just huge cracks here. But yeah, looking at this wheat, obviously you can tell when the ears are ready because they're sort of necked over. You can see there's an ear there. That one's bent over, yet you've got other ones nearby here that are bolt upright. And usually when they're necked over, they look ready, and when they're upright, they're not. And then you've got some smaller ones here, like that smaller one. We'll pull that. There's one necked over. We'll pull that and then just try and pull another one upright like that as well, and just see. And we'll rub them out and just see what they're like. So I've got an ear here. I'm just going to rub this out. Just turn it sideways on, so I don't get the chaff in my truck. You can just see it dropping down, blowing away. And this is where the saying comes from as well, separating the wheat from the chaff. You've heard it in things not related to agriculture. This is where it comes from. So there we are. We've got some grains there. Just bite those. Yeah, I thought they'd be fit. Oh, crikey. Yeah, heard that crunch. That is ready. Now, get one of these ears that are stood up. Straight away you can see, get into there, rub that out, and here we go with this. Look at that. I can put very soft look there, and that is nowhere near ready. So this is the problem we have. Looking at this spring barley, and for those of you who follow me regularly and watch the videos, this is where we had the sprinter drilling the barley. You can actually just see, if I get down level with the top of the crop, you can just see the dark bit showing up, and those are ears of wheat. And obviously this is our own seed, so we had a bit of wheat in it last year by the look of this, so we're not saving any more from this. But you can just see here, long way off getting ready this is. Look at these ears here, still very green, very soft, but look at that, long way off it. You can just see, looking at it, still green. And barley, when barley's ready, these ears will neck right over, and they'll bend right over like that and face down to the ground. So long while off fit this one. And then just walking to these beans, got a bit of sugar beet there. You've been in a few times, I've shown you a few things in there. These spring beans starting to go off quite quickly now, but these are still going to be a long while. They'll probably be nearly a month before they're ready. You can just see here they are starting to go off. Lots of nice pods on here when you look at that stem. I'm just back in the field that was sprayed with glyphosate 8 days ago. These are naked oats, and they've definitely the glyphosate's definitely done a good job on the straw. They're getting there. I think they're still a few days away. We're going to have a look early next week. I've just rubbed some grains out, and you can see here what they're like. These oats, they're really quite small. Obviously it's on light land here, and these are a bit pinched up, but these oats are naked oats. There's no husk on the outside, but yeah, they're a lot smaller than wheat. But it'll take a job keeping these in the combine, I think, with the wind. We'll have to be careful. But the glyphosate's working, still working. Obviously it's done a good job at the minute, and I'll just show you one area here, prime area in this turning of the sprayer, because it was really green, and you'll see now how much it's ripened off in those 8 days. Yeah, you can see there the straw there is mostly gone now from the green to the yellowy golden stage. When you look up the sides here as well, there's very little green straw now up the sides and in there. But this sample, there is 1 or 2 still a little bit soft in there, not quite as hard as they need to be. So we'll leave it this weekend and then have a maybe look Monday, Tuesday. When you look across this field, they're looking really well across the top. Nicely stood up. It's a 50-acre field, this, really long rounds, which is great for work rate. Remember, this was sugar beet this last year. I've just come into this field of wheat that's next door to the oats I've just seen, just to rub a few grains out. And you can see the difference there. The oats are at the bottom of the screen and the wheat's at the top, so you can see the sort of difference in size and the shape. The oats are very long and narrow, and the wheat's a lot shorter crop, shorter seed rather. But yeah, this is coming on, but this isn't really ready for another week or so yet. A lot of ears still stood bolt upright, you can see, and some of these grains will still be soft. But they're coming on. Let's have a chew and just see what they're like. We've got a sludge heap there. Let me just have a chew of that. See, yeah, it's coming on. That's quite crunchy, that one. But I know some of them I've seen, they're not. So I think what we'll do when we get the combine up here doing the oats, we'll maybe just come in here and just see and just have 50 yards with the combine just to see what this wheat's like. That's the best way of getting to try it really, and just you'll get a broad sample then, a mixture of the green in the tram lines here, and then also the unfit ears and the fit ears throughout the field. So we'll probably do that this week and see. Just pop back into the fan controllers here where the oilseed rape is, just to see how much more good it did last night. So the timers work really well. Obviously it's not on at the minute, so we're not on economy 7 now. It goes off at 7:30, but just to look, it's brought it down. It was 24, it's brought it down another 1.4 degrees, but obviously here the outside temperature is 27.7. But just worth noting, the fan run hours, if you can look, I've got it zeroed to tell you how long. That's the difference, 6 degrees difference. So that's what that means is the outside air needs to be 6 degrees cooler than the crop before the fans will come on. I've got it set at that because we need to have that set in there. Fan run, so 5 hours, look. So that shows that even though the timer was on and the fans could have been on for 7 hours, they've actually only run for 5 hours, because obviously in the night, there was some periods in the night when there wasn't the 6 degrees difference between the outside air temperature and the grain temperature in there. So it just shows the value of having automatic controllers on to optimise your electricity usage. So I hope you enjoyed that update. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like and subscribe and the bell sound, and then you'll know when I post any videos. I promise this next week, get on to looking at the final update of our direct drilling plots. I promised I'd do them, or said I'll do them this last week, but I just haven't time to fit them in. But I will this next week. So on Wednesday night this week, there will be a good detailed description of the spring barley direct drilling plots and what they look like just before harvest. So until Wednesday night, thank you very much for watching. Have a great week and a good weekend. Cheerio.